I just disembarked the most affordable 6-night luxury cruise money could buy. So would my sub $500 celebrity cruise actually deliver a high-end experience? Even I was surprised, especially when I was confronted with the most shocking thing that's ever happened to me on a cruise ship. Launched in 2012, Celebrity Reflection is the fifth and largest ship in the Solstice class of ships from Celebrity Cruise Line. Capable of carrying over 3,000 passengers, the Reflection is one of the biggest ships in Celebrity's fleet, but it is by no means the most modern cruise ship that the line has on offer today. So how would the Reflection stack up? My cruise aboard Celebrity began in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I took the Brightline train there and enjoyed some of the best high-speed rail anywhere in the world. Once in Fort Lauderdale, it was only about a 15-minute Uber over to the cruise port, and Port Everglades was jam-packed on my departure day, with 6 ships total waiting to leave, including the brand new Celebrity Ascent, Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas, as well as 3 dam ships from Holland America. The Reflection embarked from Terminal 29, which was a stark contrast to Terminal 25, where the newer Celebrity ships depart from. Instead of wood paneling and marble floors, Terminal 29 offers worn-out concrete and corrugated metal. And while a cruise terminal shouldn't be used to judge the quality of your upcoming cruise, I think it can sway the initial vibes a passenger feels when beginning their vacation. And Terminal 29 visually is not a great start for an elevated luxury cruise experience. However, all said, I spent under 10 minutes boarding at around 12 o'clock noon, which was really quick. Now, stepping on board the Reflection, I expected to be greeted with yellow-toned woods and brass metal, all those design cues that were so prevalent for cruise ships built in the early 2000s. But fortunately, someone at Celebrity knew what they were doing when they ordered this ship. I was very surprised to see such modern, upscale appointments throughout the Reflection. You board on Deck 5 midship, and immediately you can take in the soaring main atrium of the ship that spans 3 decks and includes an elevator bank that actually gives you a view from Deck 5 all the way up to Deck 14. They've even planted a tree in here that floats magically in the air, and from the looks of it, this might be the original tree from when the ship was launched. Though I would hate to be the gardener in charge of that one. But let's get back to the check-in experience. I was told that I would be allowed to drop any bags I wanted in my cabin upon boarding, but then I'd have to leave my room because it wouldn't be ready until 1:30 for me to move in for my embarkation day nap. I can't be the only person who does that, right? Well, it was a wonderful surprise for me to find that my stateroom attendant, Wyan, had already finished preparing my room even earlier, and I was just able to move right in. It's time to film the cabin tour, which means I gotta turn on all the lights. I think there's one here. Wouldn't you know it, I already got like 6 shots, and that wasn't on. Looks like we're doing it again. I booked room 6303, a restricted view balcony in the aft of the ship. That's the back for those of you who haven't cruised before. Normally, I'd prefer to be midship, but on the Reflection, Deck 6 aft actually turned out to be very convenient for getting to all kinds of food and drink on board. And that's what cruising is all about, right? Now, my cabin had one interesting feature that kind of separated itself from other rooms on the ship. That being an extended balcony, which was about twice the depth of a standard one on board. It offered a chance to sit in the sun or in the shade thanks to a partial overhang. But some of you probably wouldn't love the partial view that you can see here on screen. The seating out here is adjustable, and the large table is perfect for taking room service breakfast in the morning, which is included in your cruise fare. Inside the cabin, most of the finishes and fixtures were in great condition, but this is the area of the ship where the age showed the most, in my opinion. The lighting in here was a bit dim and yellow, plus my curtains were actually falling off the track, and the air conditioner struggled every day to keep up with the sunshine that would come in the afternoons, which is exactly why I always cruise with this little fan. You can find this and everything I take with me every time I cruise by clicking on this link or the one in the description down below this video. Overall, the cabin was very comfortable with a semi-firm mattress, but I did find that convenient storage options were very limited in here. And yes, there was over-bed storage, but I didn't really want to jump on the bed to get up here and climb and reach things. There's also 2 US power outlets and 1 UK plug underneath the main mirror. Recently, Royal Caribbean Group banned multi-outlet plugs on their ship, but they were okay with me bringing this one along for the cruise, though your mileage may vary on your next cruise. In the bathroom, there was a very surprising amount of room to walk around. I'm so happy to tell you that Celebrity have not put shower curtains in here. The shower easily accommodates one person, has a nice foot bar for shaving, and includes very upscale body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. The cabin includes a hairdryer that's pretty good as far as hairdryers go, so I guess you could say that my cabin was a pretty good one. Let's talk about one of the most important things about any cruise: the food. There are a few included options on board and several paid choices as well. Perhaps the most important place to eat on board the ship is the main dining room. It's called Opus and it spans decks 3 and 4. And it's where you will eat if you're doing this scheduled or my time dining. The menu offerings in here were not the most inspiring, if I'm being honest, but maybe you love pork, mushrooms, and seafood more than I do, and you'll fancy it. The food that I ate in here included a few of my favorites like seared salmon, pear, apple, walnut salad, oven roasted turkey, and steak Diane. But the biggest culinary surprise in here came on night number 5, when our server came around and let us know that we could order off-menu surf and turf. Yeah, we're talking filet and lobster. In other words, I was eating good that night. Now, the best dessert of the cruise in the dining room was the chocolate lava cake. So be sure you try it when you see it on the menu. My biggest complaint in the dining room was the overall lack of appealing menu items. Half of the menu is taken up by food which is always available, leaving only 4 or so revolving options that were never really all that inspiring or appealing to me. Service in here was lovely, and the large table I sat at, well, I became great friends with them by the end of the cruise. However, the venue I visited the most during my week on board was the Ocean View Cafe. This is the ship's main buffet, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as late night snacks. My cruise was fully booked, and the buffet was literally always busy during peak times. The food in here was really good. Lots of variety and flavor to be found for even the pickiest of palates, like mine. Filmagicers. Vegetarian, pepperoni, and cheese. I gotta say, pepperoni looking like the winner here tonight. It's the play. I've tried pizza from Carnival. I've tried pizza from Norwegian, MSC, Royal Caribbean. I've had all the pizzas, but I have not yet tried a Celebrity Cruises pizza. I gotta say, it's looking a little limp, but everything else I've eaten on this ship has been pretty darn good, pretty high quality, cooked right. So I got hopes for this. So let's check it out. It seems like a folder, but it's a little, I mean, like, here's my hand. Like, this is, we're not talking big pizza here. This is a kiddie portion. Okay. No cheese pull. However, we're gonna give this pizza a 7.5 out of 10. Some of my favorite things in here were the daily Asian offerings that included this like huge wok full of fresh, flavorful veggies. Celebrity's beef stew and pizza were also things I'd recommend trying out when you take this cruise. But the place I visited the most in the buffet was here at the ice cream shop. Celebrity rotates out the ice cream flavors every day here, but the best ones on offer are the cinnamon as well as the rum raisin. I actually think this buffet might be better than the ones found on Norwegian cruise line ships, which I've long thought to be the best cruise ship buffets. But if you're looking for a calmer place to eat, a casual meal, there's a cool hidden spot. It's called the Spa Cafe. It's on deck 14 inside of this super cozy indoor pool area. You can order fresh made sandwiches here and try some of the more elevated grab and go options like Asian noodles, cookies, and sliced fruits. There's also a spot named Mast Grill where you can get a quick grab and go burger. There are also 6 paid specialty restaurants on board the Reflection, and the crew were made to sell them aggressively to the passengers. Used car warranty salesman level of aggressivity, if that's a word. I was approached at least twice a day, every day around the ship with offerings of 20% off dinner or $35 per person. You pick your restaurant. And now I like a good deal, so I guess this tactic probably worked out in the end because I ended up buying 2 specialty restaurants because of it, but it was laid on way too thick. So just be ready to say no if that's not for you. I ended up visiting 2 specialty venues during this cruise. One I would go back to, and the other one I would skip altogether. Let's start with the good. La Petite Chef. I've been aware of this experience since my first celebrity cruise aboard the Beyond, but it was sold out on that sailing and I wasn't able to attend. But this time, I was fortunate enough to be joined by all of my new friends from my big shared dinner table. La Petite Chef is an elevated dining experience where a story is told on your dinner plate as you are served French cuisine. And they do this by using big projectors to shine an actual video with characters that run around on your plate. It's pretty cool. I won't ruin the story for you, but here's a sneak peek at some of what you can expect from here.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say to avoid in here is the matcha tea dessert. I actually sent mine back because it was so dry. La Petite Chef is a super cool experience that I think I'll be talking about years from now. So for me, it was totally worth booking and spending the money on. I think you should try La Petite as well. Now, the venue I would suggest skipping for most cruisers is called the Lawn Club Grill. It's honestly one of the prettiest spots on the ship, and it has amazing service and great friendly crew members working it. I just unfortunately didn't really understand or enjoy the menu. You start off with pizza, which they call flatbread, and then you self-serve yourself a salad bar, and randomly you order grilled meats and kebabs that all come out a la carte. It's an all-you-can-eat experience, so I guess it has that going for it. But I just would have expected better quality meats and more interesting flavors in a paid scenario. Overall, this was my least favorite meal I ended up having on board this cruise. My cruise on the Reflection sent me to Cozumel, Grand Cayman, and Bimini. Now, the most exciting port for me was Grand Cayman. It's known to be a tender port, which means you don't actually dock when you arrive. The cruise ship just drops the anchor offshore, and smaller boats will end up ferrying you to and fro the shoreline. While we're on the topic of Grand Cayman, though, I want to tell you about one thing that you need to try when you're here, and that is the tastiest waffles in the world. When you exit the cruise terminal, turn left and walk down the sidewalk about 2 blocks, and you're going to find a small cafe named Waffle Monkey. Yes, the name is bananas, but I promise the food is worth it. I've been here a couple of times, and I'm happy to say the food is as good as ever at Waffle Monkey. I ordered an affogato with a cinnamon churro waffle, along with some chocolate drizzle. Yes, I had ice cream and a churro waffle. If you don't know what an affogato is, that's okay. I just learned about it too. It's an espresso shot poured over a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Heck yes. And if you visit Waffle Monkey, be sure to let them know you learned about it because of me. After my waffle, I decided to walk around Grand Cayman for a little while and actually ended up running into a few of you, Midships subscribers in port, which it's always so fun meeting you guys in person. It's actually really humbling for me. Getting back to this cruise, there were 2 additional stops, Cozumel and Bimini. These are places where I usually suggest most people make their own plans. All-inclusives are a great choice in Mexico, and you can enjoy the free beach or rent a golf cart and explore the island when you're in Bimini. Speaking of Cozumel, on my cruise, that's the place that turned out to deliver the most shocking thing that's ever happened to me on a cruise ship. You see, I was casually out there on my balcony working when I noticed this terrifying bug also enjoying my balcony. Actually posted his picture on my Midships Cruise Instagram, and y'all determined that he was some sort of cricket dinosaur hybrid. You follow me on Instagram, right? Well, it turned out that this not so little fella wanted to hang out with me all day. He was there the whole time we were in Cozumel. He actually rode out sail away. I watched him as the sun went down, and I figured he would pretty much be gone by the next morning because once we got out into the open ocean, He was really moving around in the wind, so I figured he was gone. So out of curiosity, when I got back to my cabin late that night after leaving Cozumel, I went out on the balcony with my phone's flashlight to see if the dino bug, we'll call him Larry, was still out there. He, in fact, sadly was not there. And I say sadly because where he was far worse. And if you click subscribe right now, it's going to help me bring more riveting dino bug stories to you in the future. Okay, I'm stalling. Back to the story. After not finding Larry the dino bug, I went into my cabin for a shower, got cleaned up, and came back out and headed to bed. Well, look for yourself. That's the dang dino bug Larry on my bed. He had been stalking me all day. I can't tell you how hard I laughed and simultaneously cried at the same time. Now, I ended up in kind of a predicament here. I got a massive bug on my bed, but I'm also on a paid luxury cruise and I don't really have anywhere to put Larry if I catch him. I can't really flush him down the toilet. So I just picked up the phone and called for somebody and let him know there was a bug in my bed. And I tell you what, as soon as the crew member saw Larry, he visibly recoiled and was not okay with how big this bug was. We all laughed and distracted the bug while my hero crew member snuck up behind him and caught him. Now, they said that they would release Larry upstairs where the grass was. So in my mind, Larry is still living on the Celebrity Reflection up near the lawn club. The moral of the story here is I most likely let this bug in by opening my door too frequently. So don't blame this one on Celebrity. It's my fault, and it was also funny as heck. I hope you got a laugh out of it too, because I'm still laughing about it. Right, I haven't even told you about the entertainment on board this ship. The main theater on board offers 2 shows every night, and unfortunately, despite the immensely talented singers and dancers who performed in it, the shows and acts that were chosen on my sailing, they were all kind of the same and lacked a diverse range of entertainment style that you would generally find on other Royal Caribbean Group-owned ships. The singers were some of the most talented I've ever heard, but most of the entertainment just fell pretty flat for me. The headline show on board this ship is called Elysium, and if you're wanting to take in one show, that's the one to do. So all in all, what are my thoughts about the Celebrity Reflection, the experience overall? This cruise was pretty surprising for me. I did not expect such a beautiful ship for how little money I paid. The included food was all very good quality, cooked well, and I'm already missing the excellent service that everyone from the housekeeping to the food and beverage departments gave me while on board. I think Celebrity delivered a home run here, and I will definitely be back aboard their ships again in the near future as a result. So what do you think about this cruise? Is there another ship you'd like to see me review next? Let me know about it in the comments. Let me know about it in the comment section down below. And your time on the Midships is not over yet, because I'd like to invite you to come on an Alaska cruise with me out of Seattle. And we're gonna start with a little trip up the Space Needle. We'll see you there.
La 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 la